Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to koolNews at 4. Marcos Highway is experiencing a traffic jam on Friday afternoon because of a muddy road and an accident involving a truck and a motorcycle, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority said. A report from the MMDA motor base indicated that only one lane of the Marcos Highway, SM Marikina Underloop, was passable around Friday noon, as some motorists avoided the muddy road sections of the thoroughfare. Marcos Highway, SM Marikina Underloop, one lane passable due to muddy road, the agency said in a private message sent to reporters. Some vehicles avoid passing through the area, so almost all vehicles go towards Katipunan. The volume of vehicles is high, it added. The MMDA also said a motorcycle and a truck crashed along the westbound portion of Marcos Highway, aggravating the traffic situation. The incident occurred at 1:38 p.m. and was responded to by MMDA personnel. As of 2:30 p.m., the MMDA said traffic flow in the area has already improved. The National Bureau of Investigation (NBI) arrested the owner of a designer bag containing illegal drugs, which was left in a taxi in 2023. NBI Director Jimmy Santiago identified the suspect as Nguyen Van Thai or Nguyen Van Quan, a Vietnamese national. The Vietnamese man was arrested by operators of the NBI Dangerous Drugs Division during a bypass operation in Paranaque City, July 10. Authorities said the suspect sold ecstasy and ketamine to a government agent who pretended to be a buyer of the illegal drugs. According to the NBI, the suspect could sell ecstasy and deliver it through the Transportation Network Vehicle Service. The prohibited pills are hidden inside stuffed animal toys. Following Nguyen's arrest, the NBI DDS secured a search warrant from Paranaque Regional Trial Court Branch 260 and scanned the suspect's rented condominium unit at the Entertainment City in Paranaque, where they found 14 grams of ketamine and 53 tablets of ecstasy, which has an estimated street value of more than 500,000 pesos, as well as stuffed animal toys of different sizes. Santiago said a tablet of ecstasy is worth 2,000 pesos, while ketamine is 12,000 pesos per gram. He added that ecstasy is a popular party drug, while ketamine is abused for its dissociative sensations and hallucinogenic effects, and it's also used to facilitate sexual assault. Also recovered from Nguyen's condominium were weighing scales, bundles of cash, and plastic sachets. And Nguyen would be facing complaints for violating Republic Act 9165, the Dangerous Drugs Act, falsification of documents, and RA number 6085, illegal use of aliases, the NBI said. The last two typhoons that hit the Philippines, Karina and Pochoy, affected more than 1.3 million people nationwide, according to a situation issued at 8 a.m. on Friday by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. The report said 1,319,467 people, or 299,344 families, were affected. Of those affected, 211,396 people, or 53,414 families, sought shelter in evacuation centers. The Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao was the region that had the most number of affected people, a total of 552,991 individuals, or 110,874 families. For those affected by Karina alone, the total assistance given so far has amounted to 61.3 million pesos, which came from several sources, mainly the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Office of Civil Defense, local government units, and non-government organizations. According to the Department of Budget and Management on Wednesday, the government still has 11 billion pesos available under the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Fund to use in relief efforts for Karina. Our government is prepared. We are ready to support all operations for disaster rescue and relief with the necessary budget. Identified frontline government agencies may mobilize their Quick Response Fund allocated in the respective budgets, said Budget Secretary Amanda Pangkadaman. In Friday's situational report, NDRRMC said that no addition to the death toll, injured, and missing people were so far reported. Its last recorded death toll was 14, while 2 remain missing and 2 others were injured. NDRRMC also recorded damage to agriculture amounting to 9.7 million pesos, with Northern Mindanao recording the most damage at 6.6 million pesos. Bujoy and Karina triggered massive flooding and landslides in some parts of the country. On Thursday, Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. announced that several areas had been put in the state of calamity: Metro Manila, Pandagas, Cavite, Orinda Mindoro, Bataan, and Bulacan. On the same day, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered a review of flood control measures, considering that just 3 days earlier he said in his State of the Nation address that more than 5,000 flood control projects had been completed. They have many flood control measures, and yet we have these floods. We have to relook. We have to re-examine some of the designs of our flood control measures, he said. Department of Education DepEd Secretary Sonia Angara signed Friday the Implementing Rules and Regulations for Public School Teachers Expanded Career Progression System. The IRR was for Executive Order 174, titled Establishing the Expanded Career Progression System for Public School Teachers, which targets to address the long-standing problem of slow promotion processes among public school teachers. Under the IRR, the classroom teaching career line will now include additional teaching positions: Teacher 4 salary grade ST 14, Teacher 5 ST 15, Teacher 6 salary grade 16, Teacher 7 salary grade 17, and Master Teacher 5 salary grade 22. Meanwhile, the career path for public school teachers pursuing administrative roles will feature the following positions: School Principal 1, School Principal 2, School Principal 3, and School Principal 4. Public school teachers who qualify for Master Teacher 1, on the other hand, will have the option to remain in classroom teaching or move into school administration. The Department of Budget and Management has allocated 6.1 billion pesos for public school teachers expanded career progression system that is set to take effect next year. In his speech, Angara said EO 174 will give teachers more options on where they want to go with their career. So here, under the new EO or implementing rules, they now have a choice. He or she can go freely from the teaching track to the administrative track, he said. So the quality of our education is not being sacrificed because the teacher's choice is still there. The teacher can still teach, and the students will benefit from that teacher's experience, he added. The DepEd is set to collaborate with the DBM, Civil Service Commission, Professional Regulation Commission, in the reclassification process and standardization of qualifications for the new teaching positions. The Senate leadership has ordered a thorough probe into the death of an unnamed man who fell at the construction site of the new Senate building in Taguig City. Senate spokesperson Arnab Banas confirmed that the unfortunate incident happened on Thursday night, citing reports from the on-site security team and Southern Police District. We would like to extend our heartfelt condolence to the family and friends of the deceased, Banas said in a statement Friday. Senate President Francis G. Escudero has been appraised of the incident. He immediately ordered a thorough investigation of the incident and a review of the security protocols in the construction site, he added. According to reports, the 23-year-old man slipped into the construction area around 9 p.m. on July 25 and was chased by a companion and the security guards but could not be found. An hour after, the man fell off the north tower of the still being constructed new Senate building, Banas said, before the signing reports reaching the Senate. We have instructed security to recheck and tighten control of all entrance and exit points as well as the facade barriers to prevent unauthorized entry and loitering, the Senate spokesman said. The Senate is taking this matter very seriously. We extend our full support to the ongoing investigation to find out the actual circumstances surrounding this tragic incident, he added. The construction of the new Senate building is under review by the current Senate leadership as questions have been raised over its ballooning costs. President Ferdinand Bongbong R. Marcos Jr. said the opening of classes will continue on Monday, July 29, but administrators of schools affected by the recent flooding have the discretion to decide whether or not they need more time to recover. Marcos shared his directive to the Department of Education DepEd after conducting a situation briefing involving the effects of Super Typhoon Karina and the southwest monsoon on Rizal Province. Do everything you can. The resumption of classes, do it as much as possible if you can. As much as possible, open these schools and conduct classes. But there are areas that really can't, said Marcos in a chance interview on Friday. Marcos said some schools may have to conduct their classes outside school buildings or through asynchronous learning as experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. But there are still few flooded schools, but others are muddy and cannot be used. Then there are damaged items, we will have to replace them as much as possible. It will be up to the school to decide whether or not they will open. Marcos further added. The opening of classes has been set on July 29, Monday. Meanwhile, DepEd earlier said that at least 19 schools nationwide have postponed the opening of classes for school year 2024 to 2025 on Monday. And the Philippine Coast Guard on Friday said it deployed another vessel to help contain the oil spill off Bataan. The BRP Gabriela Silang, the second largest vessel of the PCG, has also been sent to the site, according to spokesperson Arman Balido. Balido said the personnel of BRP Gabriela Silang would conduct a marine casualty investigation. One of the two largest PCG ships in his fleet, BRP Melchora Aquino, was earlier deployed along with 3 other multi-role response vessels. PCG is giving itself a week to finish draining oil from the second empty Terra Nova petroleum tanker, Balido previously said. The tanker was en route to Iloilo City when it capsized and eventually sank some 3.6 nautical miles east of Lao Mau Point in Limay, Bataan at around 1:10 a.m. on Thursday. Balido said 16 of the 17 crewmen on board have been rescued by BRP Melchora Aquino personnel, while the other crewman was found dead at 3 p.m. Thursday. Alright, it is now 14 minutes past 4 and we will continue our headlines when we return here on koolNews at 4. So stick around, we will be right back. Welcome back. The Department of Education said more than 18 million elementary to senior high school students have enrolled for the school year 2024 to 2025. Based on DepEd's data released Friday, a total of 18,370,310 students enrolled in public and private schools as well as in alternative learning systems, state universities, and colleges, and local universities and colleges as of 9 a.m. on July 26. Of the total, 10,001,689 are elementary students, 5,577,374 are junior high school students, and 2,598,529 are senior high school students, according to the Education Department. Student enrollment in all public schools for school year 2024 to 2025 was set from July 3 to 26. The DepEd said school year 2024 to 2025 will begin on Monday, July 29 and end on Friday, May 16, 2025. However, in a statement on Thursday, Education Secretary Sonny Angara said school openings were postponed in some areas that were hardly hit by the typhoon's threatening southwest monsoon to give time for cleanup operations and rehabilitation. The flood management master plan for Metro Manila must not only be implemented, but the Manila Flood Management Project received funding from the World Bank and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank for $207.6 million each in 2017, while the Philippine government is tasked to provide the remaining $84.79 million. The project, Momo said, aims to achieve the following: build a dam in the upper Marikina River catchment area, eliminate long-term flooding in the floodplain of Laguna de Bay, modernize Metro Manila's pumping stations, improve flood forecasting and early warning systems, improve institutional arrangements for better flood management. Okay, so apparently I am looking into the stream and I don't know what the heck just happened. Can technical team explain to me what is going on? Okay. Meanwhile, many of the projects are yet to be bidded out and some are still ongoing. We need to double time with our flood infrastructure projects. The money is already available. There's strong support from Congress for the completion of these projects. Let's make it happen already, he said. In addition, Romualdez said that flood control projects would be funded under the 6.352 trillion national budget, which the Department of Budget and Management was expected to hand over to Congress on Monday, July 29. We are fully prepared and have anticipated this, as there is a process that includes a budget call from the past few months. We are ready to scrutinize, read, review, and if necessary, refine and amend the budget to be submitted by the DBM and the executive, Romualdez said. Addressing climate change and its effects on rainfall is a work in progress. We need to focus on flood control programs, advisories, and possible relocation to prevent future incidents, he added. Different roads and communities in Metro Manila and Newport Province were flooded from Wednesday to Thursday due to non-stop rains caused by the southwest monsoon and intensified by Typhoon Karina. This has forced the national government to place Metro Manila in the state of calamity. Last Wednesday, Navotas Representative Toby Tayangco said that Navotas and its neighboring cities would not have experienced severe floods if only the town coast Dansa navigational gate had not been damaged. However, a barge towed in by tugboats damaged the floodgate, leading Tayangco to more possible legal action against the company that owns the barge. Earlier, Senator Grace Poe, who heads the Senate Committee on Finance, said that agencies involved in flood control operations will be scrutinized at the start of Senate deliberations on the proposed 2025 national budget. Okay, so apparently we have received some news from technical team of koolNews that they got a blue screen of death. So that is unfortunate. That happened in the middle of me reading the report. So that is unfortunate. Alright, so let's continue with, let's see if we have Let's see if in case I don't miss it here. Okay. Alright. Local governments must rethink their flood prevention projects by understanding water flow management rather than simply as a response to recent flooding, President Ferdinand Bongbong R. Marcos Jr. said on Friday. Marcos made the call during a situation briefing in Mauban, Quezon, where the effects of Typhoon Karina and the enhanced southwest monsoon were tackled. In the briefing, Marcos said flood response should also know the flow of water and how to manage it. Just adding more dikes, adding 1 meter, that's not going to do it. We have to understand the flow of the water and somehow learn how to manage it so that it won't flood to productive areas, households, residential communities, and this kind of thing, said Marcos. The president said such amendment must also be part of the government's national plan for dealing with flooding, especially as a low-pressure area is already being monitored by the state weather bureau 1,035 kilometers east of Mindanao. This really will have to be a national plan. Now, especially in Mindanao, we will see what to do, he added. Marcos likened the flooding in Quezon to Metro Manila, where floods affected as well flood-free areas. It can't be just one town here and one town there. That's why we're trying to assess other significant changes because all our other flood control projects are in response to flooding. Then, well, it's new. It's change. The president also further stressed the need for readiness, pointing out that Karina is only the first typhoon in the La Nina season. Senator Grace Poe voted to make it harder for agencies involved in flood control projects during upcoming deliberations on proposed budgets for 2025. The chairperson of the Senate Committee on Finance lamented Friday how increased allocations for flood control over the years seem not to have materialized on the ground, citing the recent massive flooding in Metro Manila and its surrounding areas due to torrential rains from typhoon and hence southwest monsoon. The worsening flooding in Metro Manila appears not to complement the increasing budget we are allocating for flood control projects every year, Post said in a statement. In the upcoming budget deliberations, the flood control projects of the DPWH, MMDA, and other agencies will go through the eye of a needle, she added. The executive branch, through the Department of Budget and Management, is expected to submit to Congress its proposed 6.352 trillion pesos National Expenditures Program for 2025 on Monday, July 29. After the House of Representatives finalized its version of the budget, it will be handed over to the Senate for its turn to deliberate on the proposed expenditures. According to Poe, they will also call on local government units to ensure that other infrastructure projects do not affect waterways. We will also urge concerned agencies and local government units to ensure building and other infrastructure projects do not block waterways, she said. With every downpour, our taxpayers are left short-changed and waiting through damaging and disease-carrying floods. Did the flood also wash away the billions of funds for mitigation? She asked. Many parts of Metro Manila and nearby provinces were flooded from Wednesday to Thursday due to non-stop rains brought by the boosted southwest monsoon, locally termed Habagat. The massive flooding has forced a local government council to place Metro Manila in a state of calamity. On July 24, Navotas representative Toby Tiangco said the city and its neighbors would not have experienced severe floods if only the Tangco's Danza navigational gate were not damaged. The floodgate was damaged when a barge was towed in by tugboats, leading Tiangco to more possible legal action against the company that owns the barge. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Alright, the 446-year-old St. Francis de Assisi Parish Church in Cagayan City, Bulacan, was not spared from the onslaught of the Typhoon Karina enhanced monsoon rains as it submerged in chest-high floodwaters on Wednesday, July 24, causing damage to posts and religious images. The church, built in 1578, is one of the oldest in Bulacan and has weathered past calamities. Not even Typhoon Ondoy in 2009 brought that much flood water inside the religious building, according to church authorities. The flood water from Typhoon Ondoy was not that massive. The church never had this kind in its history, said Sacristan Mayor Armando Berroya in an interview in Filipino with Inquirer.net on Thursday, July 25. Berroya recalled that as early as 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the flood water had already reached chest level inside the church, while the flood water around the patio area outside the church was neck high. While flood water subsided inside the church on Thursday, the torrent rain flurries was evident in the damaged posts, religious statues, and other church properties. One of these is the cracked statue of Our Mother of Perpetual Help. The church was undergoing renovations when the flood struck. According to Berroya, they will meet with the city mayor on Friday to discuss plans for the church operations. There will still be no mass until the flood water subsides, Berroya added. Berroya said flood water inside the church fully subsided as of Friday morning. Cleaning operations will also be conducted inside the church. Based on estimates, the church will have a mass on Saturday night if cleaning is done until Saturday morning. Bulacan was placed under a state of calamity due to the effects of Karina and the typhoon-boosted southwest monsoon, which is locally termed Habagat. Bulacan towns that were hit the hardest included Santa Maria, Obando, Baliwag, Palaridel, and Pulilan. In a palace briefing on Wednesday, Interior and Local Government Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. reported that Central Luzon was among the most affected regions by incessant rains in recent days. As Karina further weakened and left the Philippine area of responsibility on Thursday morning, cloudy and rainy Friday is expected in Luzon, according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration. And a woman died on Thursday night. Oh well, we are seeing some technical issues in the studio, on the stream. July 25, in a fire that gutted her house in Bacoor City, Cavite. The Region 4A police said in a report on Friday that the blaze of still unknown origin struck the two-story residential house of Evangeline Manuel Parlas in Boracay Malino 3. The fire started at 10:15 p.m. and was extinguished by responding firemen 26 minutes later. Police said Parlas perished in the blaze. The report did not provide any additional information on the victim and how she died. Investigators have yet to determine what caused the fire. It is now 40 minutes, actually that's 20 minutes before 5, and we will continue our headlines with the Olympics 2024, with the Paris 2024 Olympics headlines that we'll be covering on koolNews at 4. So stay tuned, people. It is again 4:40, and we will be right back. Welcome back to koolNews at 4. And now, let's get into the exciting part, Paris 2024 Olympics headlines. Give me a second as I'm going to get the headlines ready right now. Let me get the stream preview on my phone right now, just to make sure the live stream always works. Okay, looks like it's working fine. Let's proceed with the sports-related Olympics. Coco Gauff plans to pestering LeBron James when they share flag-bearing duties for Team USA during Friday's Paris Olympics 2024 opening ceremony along the Seine River. Yes, the reigning US Open champion said Thursday she will heed their tennis teammates' request that she ask the NBA's career leading scorer for some commemorative pins from the 2024 Olympics. No problem there. But what Kev doesn't want to do, excited as she is to meet James, is be a brother. I don't want to ask him too much about advice or anything like that. The 20-year-old tennis star said about the 39-year-old basketball star in an interview with the Associated Press, because I feel like he's trying to probably enjoy the experience as much as possible too. Accomplished as she already is, Gov sounds like any white-eye fan when describing some of her interactions in the athlete's village. She met swimmer Katie Lecatsi and gymnast Simone Biles. Looks forward to running into Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas of track fame. I'm striving in the village, Gov said at the news conference. I feel like a little kid, like trick or treating on Halloween. She is the youngest flag bearer for her country at the Summer Games and the first tennis player to receive the honor. As someone who grew up watching and admiring the Williams sisters and whose first Olympic memory is following along on TV at age 8 while Serena won gold at London in 2012, Gov find it a bit hard to believe she is the first American athlete from her sport to get this prominent role. I almost feel like I am having a little bit of imposter syndrome, she said at the news conference, but I'm going to try to just take it in and be happy for myself. Gov, who is based in Florida, missed the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago after testing positive for COVID-19 right before she was supposed to board a plane to fly to Japan. Once tennis begins Saturday on the clay of Roland Garros, site of the French Open, she will be participating in 3 events at these Olympics, singles, in which she is seated number 2 behind Iga Swiatek, women's doubles with Jessica Pegula, and mixed doubles with Taylor Fritz. First things first though. Gov said she cried when she first heard about the flag job from teammate Chris Eubanks, but went up to a corner when the tears came, so as not everyone to have everyone else on the US roster see, and cried again when delivering the news to her mom over the phone. Both of her parents arrived in Paris on Thursday and will be watching the opening ceremony in person. I know this will be a memory I will remember for the rest of my life, Gov said. Eubanks, a Wimbledon quarterfinalist last year, has been a friend of Gov's for years, basically a brother, she said, and nominated her to carry the flag. The way that she's kind of handled all of the variety, the success, the ups and downs of the tour that she's kind of experienced, she's handled it all with class, and I think people are starting to see her as more than just a tennis player, Eubanks said. That's one of the major things that being a flag bearer represents. Not just your accomplishments on the court, what you kind of bring to the world. Like a champion athlete scouting a future opponent, Gov did some research online to try to figure out what she needs to know about flag bearing, but didn't come up with much other than realizing that instead of 2 flags, one for her, one for James, they will share the duties Friday. She was eager to hear more about what it will all entail. Her biggest concerns? Well, I just hope I don't drop it, Gov said, and I hope it's not too hot. Those are the 2 things I think I have been thinking about the most. Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic could meet in the second round of the tennis tournament at the Paris Olympics, which might end up being the last event of Nadal's career. Djokovic was drawn Thursday against Australian Matthew Ebden in the first round, and Nadal faces Hungarian Marton Fucsovics, with the winners of those matches meeting next. The Summer Games tennis competition begins Saturday at Roland Garros, and Djokovic's opening singles match is that day. Nadal is scheduled to play doubles alongside Carlos Alcaraz on Saturday night, but he won't get started in singles until Sunday. The 38-year-old Nadal won a record of 14 of his 22 major trophies at the French Open. He has won 2 Olympic gold medals in singles at Beijing in 2008 and in doubles with Marc Lopez at Rio de Janeiro in 2016. Roland Garros, as everybody knows, is the most special place in tennis for me. I am enjoying the fact I am back for the Olympics, Nadal said Thursday. I am just trying to enjoy every single moment. He has played sparring over the past 2 seasons while dealing with hip surgery and abdominal muscle issues. It's possible he will retire after the Olympics, although Nadal has not said exactly what his plans are. French Open champion Alcaraz takes on Lebanese player Hadi Habib in the first round of singles on Saturday before teaming up with Nadal later on day 1. Djokovic, a 24-time major champion from Serbia, and Alcaraz could meet for the singles gold in Paris, which would be a rematch of their contest in the Wimbledon final this month. Alcaraz won that one for his 4th Grand Slam title. Top-ranked Iga Swiatek of Poland faces Irina Kamila Begu of Romania in the first round of the women's draw with second-seeded American Coco Gauff taking on Australian Ajla Tomljanovic, who defeated Serena Williams at the 2022 US Open in the 23 Slam Champs final match. And the list goes on here. Gauff is the reigning US Open champion and is making her Olympic debut. She is a flag bearer for the US team at Friday's opening ceremony, along with basketball star LeBron James. She will be the first tennis athlete to carry the US flag. Djokovic and Swiatek have not won Olympic gold. Djokovic's only Olympic medal was a bronze at Beijing 16 years ago. Swiatek has won the French Open 4 of the past 5 years on the same day clay courts at Roland Garros. And finally, thousands of athletes are set to sail through Central Paris on Friday during an unprecedented and high-risk Olympics opening ceremony that will showcase the country's usually ambitious vision for the Games. The parade on Friday evening will see up to 7,500 competitors travel down a 6-kilometer or 4-mile stretch of the river Seine on a flotilla of 85 boats. Compared to the COVID-belated 2022 Olympics, which were delayed a year and opened in an empty stadium, the Paris show will take place in front of 300,000 cheering spectators and an audience of VIPs and celebrities from around the world. Tomorrow, you will have one of the most incredible opening ceremonies. French President Emmanuel Macron promised at a pre-games dinner for heads of state and government at the Louvre Museum on Thursday evening. The lineup of performers is a closely guarded secret, but US pop star Lady Gaga and French Malian singer Aya Nakamura, the most listened to French-speaking singer in the world, are rumored to be among them. It will be the first time a Summer Olympics has opened outside the Athletics Stadium, a decision fraught with danger at a time when France is on its highest alert for terrorism. For months, organizers have been dogged by questions about whether they would need to scale back or move the progression, but they have insisted throughout that there was no plan B. A huge security perimeter has been erected along both banks of the Seine, guarded around the clock by some of the 45,000 police and paramilitary officers who will be on duty on Friday evening. Another 10,000 soldiers are set to add to the security blanket along with 22,000 private security guards. Without any doubt, it is much more difficult to secure half of Paris than to secure a stadium where you have 80,000 people and you can frisk them and send them through Transteel's Frederic Pegenard, an ex-director general of the French police, told AFP. Police snipers are said to be positioned on every high point along the route of the river convoy, which is overlooked by hundreds of buildings. The opening ceremony is likely to define the mood for the rest of the July 26 to August 11 games, which organizers have pledged will be quote-unquote ironic. So yes, who is excited for Paris 2024 Olympics, ladies and gentlemen, as the opening ceremony will be taking place later the next day, which is tomorrow at 1:30 a.m., which can be seen live on One Sport. So do not miss that out if you guys are interested in Paris Olympics 2024. So if you're excited, then look out for that one. And with that, that will be it for Cool News at 4. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvhphilippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with Cool News at 6 and 1 hour newscast of Cool News Prime Time at 9. Until then, I'm Cairo, aka Asphere, and I will see you later for more headlines at 6 o'clock in the evening. Goodbye for now and good afternoon.